everyone, I'm Danielle.
I'm Lorna, and we're going to talk to you about decoding the world's second largest search engine.
So some of you might be thinking, what is the world's second largest search engine? And Bing or Yahoo or any of the other big ones might pop into your mind. But it is in fact Amazon. Google do win the battle on being the world's largest search engine, but Amazon do win that battle on the e-commerce front. So in 2018, 54% of product searches did start on Amazon, and we think about their scale and growth, it is a tad frightening. In the US, last year again, 50% of all online spend went through Amazon, and in the UK, this was a third. But before we pit these two tech giants against each other, it's really important to remember that Google is a search engine for everything, and Amazon is a search engine for products. And just before Lorna speaks to you about Amazon's algorithm and how that's different from Google's algorithm, we want to first take a step back and look at these two companies at their very core. So Google's mission is to be organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and global. Amazon, on the other hand, they don't operate primarily in the business of search, and their mission statement is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company, and they want to make things quicker, better, cheaper, and more cost-effective. And then when we look at how these companies were founded and when they were really born, this was the start of Google, so the anatomy of a large-scale hypertextual web search engine. This was Sergey Brin and Lawrence Page's PhD project, and this was their actual paper, and they called this Google. So they've always been built on search, and they've always been very academic. Amazon, on the other hand, Jeff Bezos came straight from Wall Street, and his business was built on a revenue model. So he listed the top 20 products that he thought would sell well online, and in the end, he went with books because of their universal demand and low cost. And when we think about the missions and the mindsets of these companies, it's very evident that they still play a big role in them today. So this is Googleplex in California, and their office design is very much based on a university campus. So just like the office that we're starting in today, you can see a lot of factors that their design is very much like a campus. They get a lot of perks that we all hear about, the free food and the sleeping pods and so on. And Amazon, on the other hand, this is their fulfillment network. So this is what they pride themselves on, as being the best and the biggest in the world, and this is how they process the millions of orders that go through Amazon each day. And ultimately, if we were to cartoonize these two companies, we would say Google would be like Pinky and the Brain. With this technology, we can take over the world. And Amazon might be like Jordan Belfort, so sell me this pen.
Thanks, Danielle. So when it comes to SEO, we can see that the two search engines are asking really different questions in order to deliver the right results to the user. So Google wants to know what results most accurately answer the searcher's query, whereas Amazon wants to know what products is the searcher most likely to buy. So this means there's a very different approach when it comes to SEO. So Amazon's A9 algorithm, that's its name for those of you who didn't know. The secret ingredient there to ranking is actually through sales velocity. So it's the volume and the speed at which your products are selling. And this is why price has such an important role on Amazon. So because if you upload a product tomorrow and it's a lot cheaper than your competitors, Amazon's going to automatically rank that higher because they predict that it's going to sell faster. So it's your predicted and your actual sales velocity that drives your organic performance. So if we just take a step back then and look at Google's algorithm pillars and how we approach SEO at Wolfgang, technology, relevance, and authority. So everything is very much about how to optimize your website to get it more clicks on the SERP, basically. Whereas Amazon, everything's based around sales velocity and revenue. So that's what their core algorithm pillars will tie back to in some way, either direct or indirect ranking factors. So first we have conversion rate. As I just mentioned, price is massive, okay? But there are loads of other ways to impact your conversion rate. So selling on Amazon doesn't have to be a race to the bottom on price. So there's things like from A/B testing to your fulfillment method. There are loads of ways you can manipulate your conversion rate. Keyword relevance is absolutely massive on Amazon because literally every keyword that you have in your product listing will impact your ranking in some way. And it's just because Amazon's search algorithm isn't advanced in order to deliver semantically related results. So keyword relevance is actually so important that sellers actually have a space in their product flat file, the Excel file that they upload, where you can include hidden keywords. So these are, you have all of your most important keywords in your product listing, obviously, but then all other keywords that you'd like your product to be found for, you put these in your back-end search terms. And this also includes competitor names as well. So just goes to show Amazon doesn't really care as long as you're selling them products, and they'll say nothing. So yeah, really, really granular keyword research is super important on Amazon. And then, as Danielle mentioned, customer satisfaction is our final pillar, and obviously it's going to be here because that's the core of Amazon. That's what they're built on, and that's why people keep coming back. Aside from the really stringent performance metrics that you have to adhere to as a seller, the main customer satisfaction metric here is reviews. So how people feel about your product has a direct impact on where you're going to sit in search. So this is the volume and the average rating that's going to affect your performance here. So this might all sound a little bit scary for those of you who have just got to grips with how Google works. But actually, for SEO, Amazon is a lot more straightforward because, like some of the talks that we went through today, on Google, while Google are kind of busy kind of understanding human language and we're busy trying to decipher searcher intent, Amazon doesn't have this issue. So basically, when people come to Amazon, they're ready to buy. That's their searcher intent. And whenever they're searching in that little search box, they're not asking questions, they're looking for products. So that's actually a real benefit when we approach SEO on Amazon. And what's actually even more is that, unlike with Google, so your paid advertising doesn't impact your organic rankings at all. There's no link there. With Amazon, your other marketing platforms actually help to feed your organic performance. So PPC and external traffic from social media or email marketing actually help to drive better organic results. And that's because if you think of it like if you're selling really well through PPC, Amazon's gonna see that as a product that searchers should see organically as well. So that's a real benefit to Amazon. And then, so external traffic, what I just mentioned there, some of you might not be aware of how that works on Amazon. So here we have, with Google, a lot of you know backlinks are a trust signal, whereas on Amazon, external traffic really just means more sales. So that's how it works in terms of rankings. And actually, sellers have been driving traffic to Amazon through external sources for years, through something called unique URLs, and this was totally against their policy. But as of last year, so early last year, Amazon SEOs kind of noticed that external traffic from social media and those kind of sources became more of an official ranking factor. And this was really exciting from an Amazon SEO perspective because it was another way, a legitimate way to drive external traffic and increase rankings. But around the same time, we also actually, here at Wolfgang, noticed that Amazon pulled the plug on spending on Google Shopping ads around the same time. So Amazon used to be a big spender on Google, and all of a sudden they just kind of stopped. So we kind of wondered or speculated, is it a coincidence that kind of around the same time that Amazon has decided to stop spending their own money on driving traffic through Google, that they're now kind of making encouraging their millions of sellers to drive traffic through other sources as a means of higher rankings? Well, look, we love to speculate, but we let you decide for yourselves.
Thanks, Lorna. It's not the end.
It's not over yet.
If we haven't convinced you yet of why you should maybe take the plunge on Amazon and invest some of your online marketing budget, just take a look at some of these statistics because they really do speak for themselves. So 3.9%, that's your average conversion rate of a typical website with traditional traffic come from a search engine. When we move over to Amazon, however, you can see that these figures, they massively increase. So non-Prime members, you're looking at around 13%. And then when we go over to Prime members on Amazon, it jumps to a massive 73%. And that is not an incorrect figure. That is the real one. So that is 22 times better than this 3.9. And it goes back to their mission about them being the most customer-centric, and what Lauren has said, their key pillars about them consumer satisfaction being core to how they achieve that. Prime members in particular, they're very loyal to Amazon and they're very satisfied with the service, and as such, they're very repetitive purchasers. So that's what drives that figure up. And then looking towards an integrated strategy on Amazon. So why, if you're thinking about going on Amazon, like if you're entering as a newbie, you would want to think about organic and paid ads in the beginning, because it goes back to what Lauren spoke about sales velocity. So Amazon search ads, they convert 3.5 times higher and more, and 42% more clicks than Google product listing ads. But at the end of the day, it's not about Google or Amazon. They're two huge tech giants that might seem quite similar on the surface, but they are incredibly different at their core. And it's about how they can both come together as part of your e-commerce strategy to help you all meet your business goals. Thank you. Thank you.